Welcome to California, Mr. Bond.
Hello,
I
hello. Here we are. We haven't done
Hey,
an intro in a long time, so
no, this is the first intro we've done in our second season.
it is. We've been kind of busy with our film nights. The
Hmm.
last one was really busy, so we at least we've maintained a podcast each month, so that's good. So
Yeah,
I'm very happy about that. So hopefully we'll do some more regular ones soon. So, but yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So what's been going on, Steve?
Well, we've got another screening coming up at the
That's
end of
it.
May.
Yeah,
License to Kill. That's
life
gonna
lessons
that's
to
gonna
film.
conclude the Tracy trilogy.
Yeah,
And
for
people that know, you'll know why. And if you've not seen that movie before and you've come to the Culver Theater to see the previous films, Majesties, For Your Eyes Only, which we just had, it'll make sense.
yeah.
You'll know why.
Bond is generally pissed off. That's basically
Yeah.
what the theme is there. So
Is it very, what I like what you call the movie. It's a tightly wound
it is tightly wound,
movie, and it is, yeah.
License to Kill, and the trailer is great too. The one that we screened
Oh
at
yeah,
the
with
last time. I love it
the
with Bond
disco
with the
wad.
yeah, yeah, it's great. And Timothy Dalton does this like strange like spin
Does
towards the
not look
camera.
happy.
No, he doesn't.
He
So
does not look. He's not. This is not Roger Moore's Bond. He's
no.
a little
So for
tightly wound, as Neil says.
so if people want to go, it's Tuesday, May 29th. I believe that is our date
Yeah.
for that. Don't have any well we have some
Well, we do have a game. We're not going to announce
well
anything
we have
yet
yeah
until
because I
everything's
have to
confirmed.
talk with that person
Yeah,
and we have to really confirm it. So but
yeah.
yeah.
We do have someone who says they're going to be there, and we're not going to say who until we announce
And
it.
there's
But
others that may happen as well, but it's
yeah,
we don't know for sure yet. So
but it's
but
going to be another fun night.
yes, I either way there will be fun things happening. So and unfortunately it's our last Timothy Dalton film. So
Yeah,
so you know you always like I always think like in the alternative dimension that we got like five other
fine.
Dalton
Yeah,
films after that, but
one of them being The Property of a Lady, where he
oh yeah,
fights
right.
the cyborg lady.
Oh yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you read that, right? There
I
was a
did. It's yeah,
years
yes,
ago.
yeah.
It does not sound like a Timothy Dalton movie, though, I have to say.
They
So
would
it would
just
have been
take the name
interesting.
of it. Yeah, but they weren't gonna. Yeah. Great. Well, other than that, the game is out soon. Not gonna talk too much about that because there's
Right.
yeah, First Light. They have the new theme song, which is good.
That
I
was
liked it. It's
fantastic.
good. I don't. I mean, games don't usually put that effort into things, so that
Yeah.
was really good.
And it looked like a legit title sequence from
It
one of the.
did. Yeah. I mean, they seem to care, so that was good.
Yeah.
So,
They're
so
also listening to fans because I personally am not a Lana Del Rey guy.
yeah, I mean, either. But
Um, but I really love the song. And also, Neil and I both, just being Bond fans and seeing people in the community for what was like 10 some odd years, even when Craig was
yeah,
doing Bond still, fans were going, when is Lana Del Rey going to
yeah,
do
yeah,
the song? When is she going to do the theme
yeah.
song? She's been a fan favorite to do a song
I think she
forever.
recorded one too, and they turned it down. I
I
think.
think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So this is like great. I mean,
yeah.
it was perfect.
It was yeah, it was well done. At first, I didn't know what it was going to be like. I was like, it's going to be 50-50, but it's good. It's pretty
Oh,
catchy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I know.
Hey, what does Bond say to Elliot Carver? Give the people what they want.
Oh
So,
yeah, see. Well, so hopefully David Arnold will come back, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like
I know he did the song, but he didn't do the score for the game.
yeah, I know, but I
His
just
two
hope
composers.
for the next one they like think about him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So I mean,
He's out of all the composers,
yeah.
and all the composers that have done Bond music have been great. Like, for
Mhm.
example, Bill Conti,
Bill
who
Conti, who we met, it
who
was
was our
wonderful,
guest at the last screening. I mean,
wonderful guest.
yeah, not just the Bond score, but Rocky, the Karate Kid, the Right Stuff, which he
Yeah,
won an Oscar for. I mean, just legendary parts of our popular culture that his music is a part of. And then but then you always go back to John Barry,
yep,
and since we don't have John Barry anymore, for my money, the composer that really nails that tone and that vibe was always David Arnold
yeah. And
from
they were
Tomorrow
like,
Dies
and
onward.
and they were friends though as well. So I don't know. I mean, because
Oh,
yeah, he got to know him. I mean, I watched an interview where he said they go out to lunch, but he wouldn't ask him about like the Bond stuff. But
that must have
they,
been hard because I
yeah, I guess. But but they were friends, so I think that kind of rubbed off on him too. But yeah, I mean, I hope he comes back one day. And I mean, you think he's gone, then he tends to come back for like projects like
Yeah, because he
this.
did the music for or the theme song for the last season of Road to a
Road
Million.
to a Million. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cool.
he's
Well,
still in there. He's still with us.
fingers crossed. Well, he's also doing that concert in October, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
cue the music. I
music. Yeah.
think he's gonna actually
And they're
be
great.
there. Yeah,
Anybody listening who's not familiar with Cue the Music, they
there you
haven't
go.
come over across the pond yet.
I don't
They
think
do
they're
all
going to.
those Europe, but whoo,
I think
incredible.
I think they said on a podcast once it's way too expensive for them to come to the
Yeah.
US, but fingers crossed,
Yeah.
so
They
sweet.
do things like I was watching a video of one of their concerts, and they started playing "Dirty Love," the
Oh,
song
cool.
that plays in the bar in "License to Kill."
Yeah,
That's a deep track, guys.
that is a deep one. Yeah. All right. Well, continuing on from our thing last month, who is our guest for this one? A
Oh
very
boy,
special guest. Yeah, oh boy,
Lynn-Holly Johnson, Bibi
Lynn-Holly
Dahl
Johnson.
herself.
Yeah.
Our
She's-
guest. She was with us at our screening a few weeks back,
yeah.
and now she's gonna do a little reminiscing with us.
Yeah.
This
She was
was
very gracious to
a lot
come
of fun.
back. Yeah, she was super. She's super nice. It was a great night with her, so people were
Yeah.
really happy, and she's a wonderful conversation. So,
And radiant. I mean, you had to keep moving out of the sun because the sun just kept shining.
yeah, right.
No, really, just one of the best people.
Yeah,
And for anybody who came to the screening and got a chance to meet her, you guys know just how awesome she is.
yeah, she definitely is. Well, let's dive into it then.
Let's
What do you
do
think?
it.
Thank you. All right, guys. See you later.
Ciao.
Ciao. All right, here we are. Hey,
Here we
Steve,
are.
and
Hello, Lynn.
and can you
Hi.
announce? Hello, Steve. Who is our special guest for the day?
We have Lynn-Holly Johnson with us.
Yay.
And we are super excited.
Yeah.
Lynn, it's great to see you again.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
we just want to start off by saying thank you for coming to our screening
Yeah, it was
a
a
few
great
weeks
night.
back of Figure Eyes Only.
Thanks for the invite. It was really fun, that screening. It was really, and really cool for my son too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He
great.
seemed to like it.
And I
Yeah.
got to meet Bill Conti. I mean, we have this history and we've never met. So
Oh,
that
really?
was really special.
Yeah.
So that was your first time speaking with him, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a great night. It was our most successful night, actually. It
Oh,
like
my
sold out.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a huge night. It was just it once we announced you and Bill Conti.
Getting
It
away
just
from the sun coming in the
oh
window.
no
Oh,
problem.
it looks great. Looks great.
Yeah, yeah,
There
it
we
was
go.
just a great night. It's a great film, and I think people really enjoyed themselves, and it was really fun. We had a fun packed night, so you can't complain about that. So,
Yeah,
so,
it was really neat.
yeah.
When was the last time you had
just
seen the movie?
What's up?
last
what was-
time I saw it
Yeah.
on a screen like that,
Sure.
as I said, it was the world premiere with Prince Charles and Princess Diana. So that was the year the movie opened.
Wow.
So, I did kind of around the world tour to promote it afterwards, but I never got to see it on a screen again.
Wow.
So that really was the most recent time I saw it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That
right
was the
when
first.
it came out.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it on the big screen as well. So, there's some Bond films I've seen at like film festivals, but not that one. So that was
Right.
fun to go though. So,
Yeah, it was really fun.
when you were watching it, what came to your mind? Like, were there old memories and things that came, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I should have the list of the names, but all the different stuntmen that we kind of palled around with, and just the special memories of Roger, and yeah, it was a lot of wonderful memories. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. This one stuntman, John Eves, who covered for Roger pretty often over a few movies. So I live in Ketchum, Idaho in the winter. And so John Eves happened to be in Ketchum, Idaho in his band this past winter.
Oh, that's cool.
And we kind of hung out and played, and it was really, I mean, he remembered me right off. I remembered him right off, so it was really special because he lives in Tahiti.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And
That's
he watching him ski as Roger, you know, he went down well, he did the, let's see, jumping over the picnic table
mhm.
and also the ski jump. And Johnny's funny story is at the time, these longer ski jackets might not have been the most stylish, but he had to wear a longer ski jacket because his legs, being a stuntman, are like tree trunks, and that did not match Roger's legs. So he always had to be wearing a very long ski jacket.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What
Um,
are some of your memories of being in Cortina during that time, filming all those ski sequences?
Well, I was with my sister because the Broccoli's wanted me to be watched over by a family member. So my sister and I, we just had a ball. And I was in Cortina probably, I don't know, 6 weeks or so, and not working that often, right? So every day the Broccoli's set my sister and I up with a very fine Italian ski instructor, a very fine specimen of man, and we spent the day skiing.
that sounds
So
fun.
it was a blast, yeah. And you know, working on a Bond movie, I mean, just that part of it, right?
Mhm.
It's so different than any other movie. I mean, I've worked on all different budgets, right? And a Bond movie, you know, the phrase time is money, that has a total different meaning on a Bond production. The budget is, you know, drastically different. I've worked on all kinds of budgets, and I've worked on a movie where we had a lighting problem. They lost the lights, and the director said, all right, we'll just do the scene by the window. And you'll be silhouetted, and it'll be fine. We got to get this done. That's the thing about time is money, right?
Mhm.
That would never happen on a Bond movie. You wait until you get it right. There was another time, well, working with Roger, you know, him and Cubby, they'd be playing backgammon, and they'd be waiting, just, you know, until they got the word that, you know, the AD would say, okay, we're ready. And, you know, maybe Roger Cubby had one more backgammon move to make. He'd hold on, one more move. And then so that's a total different thing about time is money.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yes.
Just so to backtrack, like, so you began with ice skating. How did you go from that to acting? Like, what
Yes.
was the impetus
It
for that?
really kind of started at the same time when I
Yeah.
was about 5 years old. I
Mhm.
was I was working starting at 5 years old, and I was skating. I had kind of a wild childhood. I missed recess frequently. I was picked up from school early frequently. I was always either training or working. I was doing a lot of commercials and print work, you know, all the Sears catalogs, all of that stuff. I was doing industrial films. So it was a bizarre childhood, and all I knew was I loved the work, right? And so I would just be diligent and serious about going after it. Um, and by the time I was 8 years old, I was making more money than my dad,
Oh, wow.
which was
Okay.
bizarre. But all that income was applied towards my training in skating. And so as a junior in high school, I packed up and moved to one of the best coaches in the world in California. I left Chicago to go work out, train in California under John Nix. And I, it's such a bizarre tale.
No,
It's
go for it.
also because of Bill Conti.
Oh,
So
oh wow.
my first day showing up at this brand new ice rink to meet my brand new coach, right? I didn't know the rink was shut down. I was called into my coach's office, which looked out the window of his office looked out on the ice rink, right? And I was really curious, what are they doing out there? So if you go see the movie Rocky,
Mhm.
the first movie,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in the movie Rocky
Oh,
because as I'm meeting the coach, I kept opening the curtain trying to see what was out there. They were shooting the scene,
ah,
Sylvester Stallone
oh, I
and
remember the
Talia
ice
Shire.
skates. Oh
And
yeah.
every time they came near that curtain at the end of the rink, I opened it up and I thought, well, wait a minute. I've worked my whole life in
Oh
this
wow.
business. I've got to get myself an agent. So I started with a new coach. I got an agent. And then once again, lo and behold, the paths crossed. And the producer and writer for Ice Castles showed up at the rink. This is
Wow.
years later, looking for a skater to play the role in Ice Castles. And Mr. Nix suggested me. I was already now at this point on tour with Ice Capades, but he suggested me because when I was 10, I played the part of Helen Keller with opposite Rita Moreno.
Mm.
So, and I was this Midwest girl, so all of these things came together. It was kind of perfect for playing the role in Ice Castles.
It sounds like just serendipitous, meant to be kind of
It's
thing.
really bizarre, right?
Yeah. So
And
you're,
Bill Conti, I mean, he did Rocky,
I
right?
Yeah.
know. That's funny how he popped up then and then last month though as well.
I
So
know,
you know,
really funny.
yeah, I know. Um,
You
you,
prefer acting or skating when you were younger? Did you have a preference between the two?
Oh, I didn't have a preference. I just thought it was all a ball of fun. I loved the seriousness of training. I loved competing. Um, I loved the seriousness of acting,
Mm.
diving into another role. And I liked figuring out what happened to that character before the camera came on, before that scene, so I loved all those challenges.
yeah. You also starred with Eddie Davis and Watch Her
Yes.
in the Woods. Now that's a very popular cult film. Can you talk a bit about that and what your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was kind of amazing. But at the time, I certainly knew Bette Davis was a five-time Oscar winner, but still my competitive background and serious background, that's still how I approached acting. And I didn't know any other way to be. Um, so at the time, while we're working, and Miss Davis was doing a lot of publicity, and I would get to read the articles at the time while we're still shooting, and she would say that she loved working with me. Couldn't believe it because I was serious and worked hard, and I kind of stayed in character between shots. And well, I didn't know any other way to be because
Yeah.
that's how I grew up. You just keep working hard.
Yeah.
Um, as I said, I missed recess because I was training or working. I never really experienced, play dates after school. I didn't have that kind of a life, and I only knew to just go after stuff wholeheartedly. And that's what I was doing with Bette Davis. And she really liked that, which was made me pretty happy. But working with her, holy cow, it's you you would just get kind of sucked into her face and her eyes. And it's sort of also when I was working with Colleen Dewhurst. I mean, all these people that, Robbie Benson, all these great people, you get sucked into their brain, and you hang on to your character, but these people are so moving. So it was really exciting to work with all these people. And then, working with Roger, sure, you get sucked into his face and his
Sure.
eyes and his character. And oh my gosh, he was a blast to work with. Just so much. He's so charismatic and so loving and giving, on camera and off camera, and a really, really just a genuine good guy.
Mm. What was meeting him for the first time like?
Well, you got to talk to him beforehand. You got to hang out a little bit. Working on a Bond movie, it's like a family, and it's like a team, and everybody's working together, and everybody's talking. And I can't even remember the first scene that we did together, but I know that he was always so warm and so being there, and he loved my sister, and we'd chat, in makeup, and he was just a really wonderful, wonderful guy.
Mm. That must have made working with him and just so much easier.
Absolutely. I mean, I've worked on, it's so crazy. I was on a television show. I was a guest star on a television show, and my first day of work, I had to jump off the horse and run up and hug and kiss the leading man in the television series, right? And I'm not telling you who he is.
Okay.
So we're doing the rehearsal. The guy's not there. He's still in makeup or whatever. And all of a sudden we're like, camera's rolling. He shows up, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I haven't even met the guy. I haven't even said, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. I'm happy to be on your show.
Yeah.
And that's what I was supposed to do. Now I'm very keen on if that's what the character was supposed to be about, a cold kiss to someone you don't really know, but that was not the character. But anyway, so working on a Bond movie, again, time is money is a little different. You knew everybody. Everybody was warm. Everybody was loving. It was a family. It was just a wonderful experience.
Mm.
How did you get cast, and how did that all start with it?
I was lucky. Well, my whole career I was lucky. But anyway, so Bibi Dahl was not a character that Ian Fleming wrote. And Hubby Broccoli saw me in Ice Castles and really liked me, and I guess Michael Wilson too. And so they wrote in this character. They wanted to have some little rambunctious rascal to annoy James Bond, and that became Bibi Dahl. So I was, this was after Watcher in the Woods, and my agent said, you're going to meet Cubby Broccoli. And to me, again, it's just, okay, here's another opportunity for another job. Go after it, be serious, all that. And go to Cubby Broccoli's mansion in Beverly Hills. And
Oh, wow.
I think we were like in the ballroom to have this meeting, just two chairs. And we just kind of sat and chatted, and the character wasn't written yet, so there wasn't any line readings, and so they liked me, and they created Bibi Dahl, and there
wow.
it was.
The rest is history.
I know, right?
It sounds like you never were nervous or overwhelmed by the kind of weight oh, I'm doing a James Bond movie, or I'm doing this movie, or working with this person?
No, I never thought about it, which is so bizarre because now when my kids were the age I was, and I would cross my mind, wow, what if they were doing this big Hollywood movie? I'd be like overwhelmed. But my parents never said anything to me about, you know, you're doing a big Hollywood movie, that you're working with Betty Davis. They never they never said anything like that. Um, so none of it was overwhelming, and I don't know why, but maybe it was just because how I looked at work, and you just keep going after stuff and working hard, right? Um, I worked with this one actress, and the first time we met, she said, "Nice to meet you. How many shows have you done?" And I was like, "Oh wow, never been asked that. Never really thought about that." I mean, there's different people all around, right? And it just some people are different. But anyway, so yeah. Um, Now when I think of, oh wow, I did these big Hollywood movies, now it's like really kind of more overwhelming to me now.
Oh, okay.
Especially, you have to sit back and think, wow, 45 years ago, I was doing all this crazy stuff. Wow. Like, 40 years ago, I married George Clooney in a television series. I never thought much of it at the time.
That's pretty cool though.
Anyway,
Were you familiar with the Bond? I mean, like how familiar with the Bond films were you at the time?
yeah, as I said, I was working so much, missed recess, no after school, nothing like that. My grandma took me to see Goldfinger, took all the grandkids to see Goldfinger in 64.
Hmm.
I might have been like kindergarten or so.
Hmm.
That's all I knew. Certainly, I knew there were James Bond movies at the time when I got the role. I knew that, but I had no idea
Sure.
it would be that I'd be talking to you guys, half a century later.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that big of a deal. To me, it was just one more great job. And isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But that
truly
was
living in
part
the
of it
moment.
was the work ethic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to me. James Bond is always a big deal. Like it doesn't matter which decade, he's always a big deal now. I mean,
Right.
you know.
Well, there have been James Bond movies
Mhm.
more than half the time that movies have been
Yeah,
in existence.
yeah, true. Yeah.
That's more than any other series, right?
Hmm.
Way
Yeah.
more than Star Wars,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a kind of a big deal.
Yes. Yeah.
What was
Um,
some of your memories of meeting the fans at the screening and talking with some of them?
That's always fun. Uh, People have great things to say. People loved this silly character, Bibi Dahl, and it's and it doesn't matter the age of the person that comes to see it. People are really fond of For Your Eyes Only, which
yeah.
to me it was just. I guess being too close to it. It's another James Bond movie. I used to joke when people would say, "Which one were you in?" And I would say, "I was in the one with all the stunts." And the people would go, "Oh, wait a minute, is it?" Oh, I get it. um, so anyway, yeah, it's always fun to meet the people that are. Wait, I have to move myself out of the sun.
Oh yeah.
Here we
That looks
go.
fine. Yeah. There we go.
So, yeah, people like James Bond movies. It's really a
Yeah,
cool
they definitely
thing. I
do.
mean,
Yeah.
well done to Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson,
Yeah.
who've been able to have this carry on for
Yeah.
decades, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was doing For Your Eyes Only, Barbara, first of all, Michael Wilson co-wrote the screenplay. But Barbara, who's a little bit younger than me, was just watching every day, all day on the set. And she was like a sponge, just absorbing everything. And who would have guessed at that time that she would be the one to carry on her father's in her father's footsteps, and her and Michael just continuing to make successful films. I mean, that's what a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, this never works in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the brilliance of them, it's just wonderful what they were able to do.
Yeah. What did you when you read the script, so Bibi Dahl, what did you bring to Bibi Dahl that might not have been there on the page?
Well, I had to, as I do anytime I'm working, you kind of create the background, what happened before page one of the script, right? So I kind of figured Bibi Dahl was, I knew she came from a lot of money, but I figured the money's gone, her parents left, she's petulant, she wants what she wants to grow up fast. I kind of figured maybe she was adopted by this coach or something. She kind of seems pissed at the world, but determined to get over any barrel in her way. And if that means needing a man, she's going to get herself a man. It doesn't matter how old, right?
Yeah.
She's just going to go after this to get what she wants. I think to be wealthy like she used to be. That's kind of what I created.
That's good. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, a little bit. Yeah.
As you were talking about, that's something that watching the movie as many times as we have, you don't consider a lot of these things, and then hearing you say it, and then thinking about the performance, it's like, oh my God, it's all there.
Yeah.
It's so good. I can't wait to go back and watch it again with that in my head.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
I think you had we were talking about fans, and I think fans really enjoy this one because it's so grounded in the real life compared to other Bond films, and I think that's what is special about the film. So it's because they just came from the one before it was Moonraker, and that's about as far as you can
Bizarre.
get.
Yeah.
So it's really a fun one to watch, and it's based more on from the books and that kind of tone. So it's my favorite. Yeah.
I always hear that from the fans.
Yeah.
They're saying, happy it went back to the books, and I love Roger Moore. And sometimes they say, Sean Connery is still my favorite, but I love Roger Moore.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about working with John Glenn?
Oh wow. I could just tell the difference in how he went at this, and that was because he was an editor. And you could just see he's putting the puzzle pieces together with each shot. It was totally different than working with other directors. You could just see how he was building this. He saw how it would be edited, it was different. He just pictured it all being put together. Yeah, he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah, he seems nice. He's been nice to do introductions with our film festival, so that's really great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
No, he seems super nice, and a lot of people seem to speak highly of him, though. So,
Right. And I'm kind of a little bit older than his son. We kind of hung out a little bit, my sister and I, with his son, and
oh, cool.
Yeah.
So working with working with Albert Broccoli, can you talk a bit about that? What he was like? Because we've read tons of things about him. So when we get someone who was friendly with him, we'd like to know what they think. So
Yeah. Well, Cubby is he is the kindest.
Mm.
I think he's totally different than a lot of people in the business. Um, but he's really a good guy, and his wife, they were wonderful, just really good people. And that is kind of how the whole set was. Because I think he established that good feeling, kindness, you care for everybody. Um, so I always think of a movie as being like a 5,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, right?
Hmm.
And as you're doing the puzzle, you might think, oh, I've got the border done. I'm really doing great. This is going to be great. I've got the border done. All I have to do is fill in the middle, right? So in a movie, you might think, oh, I've got a great cast, I've got a great script. This is going to be perfect, right? But a zillion things can go wrong, right? Just a zillion things. You've all seen movies that you thought on paper was they're going to be great, and you show up to see the final version. You go, wow, what happened, right? Um, um, because I think Cubby created this feeling on set, and so much of the crew, probably 90% of the crew, was on the previous Bond
Hmm.
movies. And again, that's because they liked working for Cubby, right?
Hmm.
So that's why it felt like a team working together. Um, which goes into, the time is money thing. When you have a team working together, things move not as frantic as other pictures that I've been on. And so I just think that this has a lot to do with Cubby's personality, and Michael Wilson is like so calm and cool, um, even in the later years, right?
Hmm.
So you have these two leaders, and you had John Glenn, who's like his brain is like puzzles being put together as he's shooting, right? It was a wonderful team, and as I was saying before, people were so calm, cool, loving, and it didn't matter when the AD said we're ready to shoot now, and Roger would go 1 second, I gotta make a move, or you know,
Yeah.
backgammon. It was important.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
For such a big, especially at that point, Bond had already become, big time, big franchise film.
Yeah,
It sounds like the exact opposite on set of a film like that. Usually there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of moving pieces, people
you
running around, everybody's got a frown on their face, and this sounds like the opposite.
right. You would think with the amount of stunts and the amount of stuff that could go awry, just effects and everything, you would think people could be frantic, but no, it was not. Everybody, and maybe it was because time is not really money.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch any of the big stunts be performed?
Yeah. Actually, my sister is sitting at that picnic table when John Eves or Wolfgang Younginger skied over the people at the
Oh,
table.
that's cool.
So got to watch a few of those things. Uh, I did not certainly see any of the mountain climbing that was done in Corfu. I was not in Corfu. There is a snippet of Bibi Dahl walking past a hallway in you're supposed to be in that monastery in Corfu, but that was all shot interior in Pinewood Studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I probably would have seen more, but I might have been, off skiing with a very fine Italian
Oh, well, yeah.
specimen
See,
of man.
yeah, right. Yeah. How proud, like rewatching it recently, how proud are you of it now?
Oh boy, proud and humbled. Um, proud that I got to accomplish something that we're still talking about a half a century later, almost.
Yeah.
Humbled by I have a really lovely life now, and I didn't get off the deep end in the business because it's such a crazy roller coaster of a business. Yeah, I feel really good about, the accomplishments. It's and just to do this with you guys, or have people stand in line to get my autograph, it is so bizarre. So I
I
had
mean,
no idea when I got that. Even when I got this role, I had no idea that it was going to be meaningful to so many people.
yeah. I think if you're in a Bond film, fans just don't they know it and they don't let you go. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like in the most positive way. So,
Right. Right.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just people are into. I mean, I think just the character of Bond and what he represents is kind of an eternal figure that never dies for people, and that's what's
Yeah.
great. So,
Right.
And you take a
Right.
character like that and you take movies like For Your Eyes
Yeah.
Only, where, I, as a kid, even now, I always feel like I'm going on like a little vacation. I love movies like the Bond films where there's travel logs. They go somewhere that's not just, famous, but also
Yeah.
interesting and beautiful and exciting. And
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's Hubby and Michael Wilson. They and now Barbara, they wanted people to see the world, right? Because let's think about at the beginning, people weren't able to just, I think I'm going to go to Europe for vacation,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
so it was more of an exciting travel log, right?
Yeah.
And I know that at the time, Cubby, and maybe talking with Barbara also and Michael, they were thinking where to go for the next one. So I don't know. I wish I had asked what comes up first, right? The location or the story? Like,
Oh,
what do you guys
yeah.
want to do, right?
Yeah. I think from watching documentaries, it was a bit of both. That they would
Yeah.
sometimes they would location scout and think, well, we can do this, and they wouldn't use that one, but it would pop up in other films. So I think it's a bit of both. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. What are your thoughts on the future of the Bond franchise? Like, I mean, I don't know if you kept watching them afterwards or
Yeah,
any.
absolutely. I
Okay.
became a big fan, yes,
Okay.
because, I was embarrassed about how I didn't see anything before except for Goldfinger. So,
Yeah.
so yes, I did start watching all of them. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Do you guys know?
I have no
Okay?
idea.
Oh.
I
So
mean,
I don't even know
yeah.
if Barbara still has a say in it.
I think she's a
Think
silent partner now. I
Yeah.
think.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was watching the last one, which made me cry,
Mhm.
right? I thought maybe that little girl, Mathilde Swan,
Yeah.
maybe she grows up to be a spy,
I don't know.
a good spy,
A good
to
one.
be a
Yeah.
James Bond, right?
Yeah.
Amazon's probably listening too. So
I know,
if that
right?
becomes
Yeah.
a show, they're
Yeah.
going to have to call
Yeah.
you.
I know.
I mean, they gave the character a name,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of a cool name,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mrs. Swan, Miss Swan, whatever. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
I think my personal opinion is they're going to start from scratch all over again, and they're
Yeah.
because in the books there's been other authors that have written Bond afterwards, and they always seem to start over. So I think
Yeah.
they might do that. I don't know. I mean, we don't have an inside track, but I
Also,
mean,
there's
yeah.
a video game coming out in May called First Light, and it's kind of a Bond origin story where he's recruited from the Navy and he's going out on his first mission. And Patrick Gibson is the actor, is a young actor playing him,
Yeah,
and that looks like a total, like, it's all
a
Bond.
reboot.
Very
Yeah,
exciting. It has all the tropes and everything, but yeah, he's a little younger. He's just
Yeah.
starting out, even younger than Casino Royale, which
yeah.
was similar.
Yeah.
Is he British?
I think he is, right?
I think actually, I mean, he might be Irish.
I don't know. Yeah,
Not sure.
yeah, the
Don't
game's
quote me on
not
it.
out yet, so but
So maybe this is it then.
maybe I don't know.
Who
There's,
knows? I mean, they're
No
definitely doing literary
relation,
stuff. They gave him
no
a
relation
car on
to
the stage.
Bond or whatever.
I don't know. It's just well, it's a reboot, so I mean
Uh,
it just takes place now. So, but
right,
I mean,
right.
but that's the fun. You can always reinvent Bond. He can be Roger Moore. He can be Sean
Yeah,
Connery. He can be any kind of person, really. So I think
right,
that's the most fun part of it, though.
right.
And
Yeah.
speaking of that, Lynn, throughout the years after you finished For Your Eyes Only and it became a part of history and the Bond franchise, how often did Bond come up in your life? Do you get stopped a lot? Do people recognize you a lot? And is it Bond that they're pulling you aside for?
Yes. That and and then Watcher in the Woods comes
Yeah.
up and
Mhm.
Ice Castle. I think I get recognized mostly for Ice Castles, but guys recognize me from For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Certainly doesn't happen so much anymore, but it was a lot at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But that was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
I guess, yeah, no, thank you. I guess just to close things out, if you had to describe your time with it in one word, what would it be?
Oh gosh. That movie?
Yeah, no, well,
The one
for you,
word
your
would
eyes
be,
only. Yeah,
yeah,
for
the
you,
one
yeah,
word would be just joy.
yeah.
Just it was a blast. The one word for that business, that business, I would say roller coaster,
Okay.
because it is just a wild business. It's
Yeah, it sounds
up
like
and
it.
down and left
Yeah,
and right, and people are honest and people are not
yeah,
honest,
that's
and
true.
Yeah,
um, can't say that about Cubby Broccoli, boy.
That's
What a
good.
gem.
it's
And
beautiful to
Roger
hear. That
just
that always fills our heart
Yeah,
because and you see it. You see it when you watch the movies.
yeah,
You feel that everybody that had took part in this film just had the best time doing it.
right.
yeah.
And that's why the team worked,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So yeah, they
that's
made it
great.
special.
Great.
One
Well,
Yeah.
one other thing I wanted to ask you about. How about that red ski suit?
yeah,
You
that
still
was
look
there.
good. You're
Yeah,
still fantastic.
yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
yeah. Yeah, he owns a lot of stuff. He brings tons of his collection each time. So that was,
Wow.
yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was amazing. It
Yeah,
was really funny to put that jacket on.
yeah, yeah. I know, right? Well, people
That's
loved
probably
it. That
probably
was
the
on
most
Facebook the
shared
next.
picture from the screening
Yeah,
is you with the hat and the jacket on again.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was on Facebook the next
I
day.
wish we had gotten a few more shots of that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. There were, yeah, that was all on Instagram, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, so that was fun.
what?
So, yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate because I'm
Yeah.
sure you talk about this pretty frequently. So thank you.
S- Um, it's becoming more frequent
Okay.
now, which is really funny. I
Yeah.
think in like say the 90s,
Yeah.
I don't think people cared
Oh.
to talk to me about James Bond.
Oh wow.
Mm.
It's becoming more of a thing now. Oh, another thing. Do I have another minute?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Another funny thing, and maybe you guys know the answer, but as I recall, wait, I have to get out of the sun again.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I lost you.
I
Oh
can
no,
see.
Uh-oh.
I
we
can
can
see.
still see you. We can still
You're
hear you.
frozen.
There you are.
Yeah.
Am
There
Yeah.
I
you go.
good?
It's good. Yeah. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Here's another funny thing. You know the scene where all the girls are in bikinis at the swimming pool?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that was known as the Bond girl scene.
Hmm.
So in every James Bond movie, there was always the Bond girl scene where there would be a bunch of half-naked girls, right? Or bikini girls or girls in every Bond movie, there were those particular Bond girls. And they
Mm.
were all um, glorified extras, no lines, right? That
Yeah.
was the original meaning of Bond girls.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
when we were promoting this movie, and they would say, "You're a Bond girl," I was always told to kind of correct them and say, "No, I'm one of the leading ladies."
that.
And other Bond girls that I've chatted with, I could name 6 of them, but I'm not going to throw out names. But they always said, no, in the old days,
Yeah.
the Bond girls were those extras,
Ah,
right? And
yeah.
we were the actresses. So as time went on, and I think also because one girl did a book about all of us actresses, and it was called Bond Girls. Now we're all called Bond Girls,
Yeah. Okay.
which
I
was
didn't know
funny
that.
because at the time we were not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There
Yeah,
we
I didn't know
go.
that either.
That's a fun fact right there. I didn't realize that. That's because I just refer to you guys as Bond girls.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
that's how it's been for the
Okay.
last 20 years.
Okay.
But yeah, when we were shooting it, we were told we're not.
Wow. Well, there we go. we found out. So
Well, now we can, on the record, Neil and I have
yeah.
declared you a Bond girl.
Yeah. So yeah. There we go.
I'm happy and proud of the title.
As you should be. So
Yeah.
there you go. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So
And
much.
thank you again for coming to the screening.
Oh yeah.
Really made a dream of ours come true.
Yeah.
And all
Thank
the people that came there that night, the amount of messages that we got and are still getting from time to time.
Wow.
People are just they
had a fun time.
And it's you, it's Bill, it's the movie, and they just
they
it's
loved it.
unforgettable for them. They're never going to forget, and we'll never.
No, yeah, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was thrilled to be invited. It was great talking to you guys.
Okay.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.